My name is Irene, this is my booktube channel Irene Reads, and today I want to talk about all the books that I've read in the month of May. It's bizarre to think this is June already, because I can't remember any of spring. Mostly because, it's war in Ukraine and I'm watching and listening to all the news all the time, so it's like February still in my mind because February started. But yeah, it's summer. Well, not summer, it's almost summer. It's June and I've read a lot of books in May, so I want to tell you about them. Also, May was very hard because of Texas shooting. My heart is with the parents of these kids and with these kids, of course, and it's unthinkable. Like, things that are happening in the world are unthinkable, and I have no words for this, for all of this. I have a daughter in 3rd grade, so it's very close in age, and it was hard to me to let go my daughter to go to school for these few weeks because I just can't. Let's talk about books. Sorry. So the first book I've read on Kindle, so I can't show it to you. This is the first book from the same series. This is Murphy's Law by Rhys Bowen. And I've read For the Life of Mike. This is the 3rd book in Molly Murphy series. So Molly Murphy is a young, very witty, very clever Irish immigrant, newly from the ship in the beginning of 20th century in New York. And she wants to be an investigator. She started this business. She's not very successful, but in this book, For the Life of Mike, she actually solved 2 cases, so she is successful now. I can't say that these are truly mystery books. They're more like adventure style with a little bit of mystery. And each book concentrates on some aspect of immigrant society, of immigrant life, or life in general in New York in the beginning of the century. So in this book, it's more about like garment industry, sweatshops, unions, and terrible conditions in which workers work at that time, about Jewish and Russian immigrants, about Jewish community a little bit. I liked it very much. It was very interesting, especially about all these women in sweatshops and how hard they work and what the conditions were and how they couldn't stand for themselves, mostly because they do not know English. They did not know English. And so Molly was a big help for them because she could speak well. And I know that up to this day, this is still a very big problem, and I'm working hard every day to to overcome it. It was good. I am not sure about love story, both love stories in this book. This is like a love triangle beginning happening, and I do not like both men interests in it, so I can't say I'm very excited about that part. But I do not think this is like a true mystery books, because every time she solves a mystery, it's just a pure coincidence. It's not like she's working hard for it. I mean, she's working hard, but it's not like she's picking clues and understand something. No, she just stumbled upon person that she needs to find. So it's like that. But in this book, it was a little bit better than the previous books, and also I like very much the voice of the main protagonist, and I like the setting, and it's very enjoyable. It's like the most enjoyable historical adventure series I've read. Easy to read, but still deep enough to raise questions and provoke thoughts and all this stuff. So yeah, I liked it very much. I read it with a group of friends. I am reading it with a group of friends, and we are just discussing it over Zoom, and it's pure joy. And I like the process of reading it, discussing it very much. It was very good. I gave it 4 stars, and it's the most from the whole series, from these 3 books. Then I've read The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, because I want to discover maybe new genres for myself. I really need distraction, and I thought that romance novels can be a distraction. Also, I watched Bridgerton season 1, and though I didn't like a lot about it, I still enjoyed like a big part of it. I was not there for all the sex scenes, this hot encounters. I just do not like it, neither in the books, neither on screen. I can't stand it really. But overall, I liked it. So I decided maybe I can read the books. So I read the first one, and I have lots of thoughts. First, I gave it 2 stars. I didn't like the book at all. I didn't like the book in its core. I didn't like the plot. And I think that it's very wrong in the romance novels when there is depicted a forced marriage or forced relationships, where like the happy ending is like one of the persons in these relationships is forced up to the end. Like he had some thoughts about how he wants his life to be, but our main protagonist, his new wife, she just overcome these thoughts, and he pushed him up, over his limits, up to what she wants from life. I don't think this is healthy at all in relationships. Also, I do think that the thing that happened in there was really very bad. Like, it was bad. What I did like about this book, I liked the encounters. They were sarcastic and witty, so I did like the language of this book, how it was depicted. I was amazed how less sex scenes there were in the books, like in comparison to the movie. So this is actually rather pure. There are few sex encounters, but not too much, definitely. Though I was impressed how richer the movie was, because there were a lot more additional characters and additional love stories who definitely made this experience much more interesting and diverse than this book, in which there was like your typical one love story with happy ending, and that's it. So I have no idea, like I haven't seen the second season, and I can't say that I really want to, and I can't say that I want to read the second book in the series. Maybe if you read more of them, you can write down in the comments below, like, what do you think of others books? Maybe they're worth, proceeding, because of course it's very easy read, so I can do it. I just don't know, like, do I need to? And I read next in my Hercule Poirot reading. This is the 6th books in the Hercule Poirot mystery series. This is The Mystery of the Blue Train. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It's not like the best, but the setting was so fun. Our main heroine here is a young girl who was a companion to old lady in Saint-Meremit, which bring a smile on my face, because maybe you don't know, but Saint-Meremit is a village where Miss Marple lived. So you can see that here this series, like, maybe this was the first thought of Miss Marple. This lady died, and they were very good friends. And ended up she was very rich, and she left all her money to her companion. So this young girl now, well, not young, she is my age, sorry, she's 36, I think, in this book. She's not very young, but she now is very rich, and now her thought was like, what will I do with my life? I can now spent money on clothes and on traveling. So her first thought was, I want to see the world. And then one, of course, very distant related cousin wrote to her and told her that she come to live with us at Riviera for a few months or something. And she thought that it was a good idea for the entry to the society and to this new rich life. So she boarded the blue train and went to the Riviera. And of course, on this blue train, she met few people. And one woman told her some secrets. And then this woman was found dead. And the one other man who was on this blue train was Hercule Poirot. And Hercule Poirot, she liked our main protagonist very much. And so he was like, Miss, do you like to read mystery novels? She was like, yeah, I do. So let's do our own little mystery novel. And it was so fun because I think like a lot of people who read this book was like, yeah, pick me, please. I too want my own mystery novel, especially on the Riviera. So the setting was very fun, the train, the Riviera. There was a lot about mysterious Russian rubies and jewels, and yeah, it was not gory, it was interesting, and I liked characters in it very much, so I gave it 4 stars. Why not 5? Because I almost every book I read and I want to give 5 stars. When I think about Hercule Poirot series, I at least want to compare them inside this series. So I can't say that this book was on the same level as Murder on the Orient Express, for example, or Murder on the Nile, or Murder of Roger Ackroyd. They are 5-star reads for me. Even, yeah. So 4 stars, but still very good, very enjoyable. One of the most enjoyable in thinking of setting, and it may give me some ideas for my future TBR too. So yay for this. Then I've read a book that Santa brought my daughter for Christmas. Our Santa is very thoughtful about presents, especially when there is always book in the stocking, like it's a must. And this book won Goodreads Choice Award last year for the middle grade fiction. Also, Riordan, and my daughter is all into Percy Jackson series, so I thought, Santa thought it was a good choice. And also, why not? Especially because my daughter read it and she liked it so very much. She likes fast-pacing, adventurous novels, and it was such a thriller, I want you to tell. Like, even for me, for an adult, it's such a thriller. I do think it's maybe for older middle graders. Like, my daughter is 9. I would say it for maybe 10, 11 years old, because it started with a huge disaster. Our main protagonist, named Anna Dakar, is student in this very special boarding school in California. They are all about ocean studies, talking to dolphins and training like Navy, and doing chemical reports on the water and all this stuff. And so one day she and all her class went to this field trip, let's say, and then they saw that their school was blown away by some weapon. So all their mates died in there, and also Anna's brother died in it. and they need to survive in their field trip, and because someone who murdered all their classmates and ruined their school, they went after this class. So they need to survive, they need to understand what's going on, and yeah. Before reading this book, you've better read Jules Verne. It's fine if you would not read it, because it's all explaining in here. But Anna Decar is actually the grand, daughter of Captain Nemo. And there is a lot about Captain Nemo and Nautilus and all this stuff. It's sci-fi. It's definitely sci-fi. Actually, it's the first, I think, middle grade sci-fi I've ever read. It's definitely a thriller. The chapters are very short, and each chapter ends on a cliffhanger, so it's very go adventurous book. I do like the depth of the character, though, and I do like the complexity of the emotions they had. Actually, I did like this book. This was not that I expected. It's not gentle, it's not thought-provoking, but it's rather deep in explaining emotions. It's very interesting. It's push you to read classics, which is always to win, especially for us parents. And I just did like it. It was very fun to read. Also, it is very diverse, because Anna Decar, as she is a granddaughter of Captain Nemo, she is from India, and her best friend here is autistic. So these all things were checked, and they were done very well. Like Riordan is truly a very good middle grade author. He can do it all on the right level of deepness, and also he can do it very enjoyable and engaging. So yes, highly recommend. I gave it 3 stars, mainly because it was too fast for me, I don't know, it was too middle grade for me, maybe. There are books that you enjoy as a kid and the books that you still enjoy as a parent. I do think that this book is more enjoyable for younger readers, but still it is very good. So if you want something, I think it will be a very good book for summer, because it's very enjoyable, it's very fast-paced, it's very summery because of the ocean. I liked it very, very much. So then I have this very unexpected 5-star read. This is Olga by Bernhard Schlink. I picked this book from the library only because of its name, because my older daughter's name is Olga. So of course, when I saw this on the shelf, I was like, yeah, I'm reading this. Not because I know what it is about, but only because of the name of the book. I loved this novel so very much. This is the type of historical fiction I like, and it is very rare. This is historical fiction about a woman in Germany on the brinks of First World War, and then First World War, between wars, Second World War, and after that. So Olga was a young girl who wanted to be educated and wanted to have a meaningful life, and he fell in love with one richer boy in her neighborhood, and they became lovers, but his parents hadn't approved, so they did not want him to marry her. Still, they were lovers, and she proceeded with her education. She became a teacher, and he went to another region to teach, and he became a traveler without purpose. So he was just he was trying to find a purpose in his life, but he was seeking it in different countries. So he just traveled in different countries, in the most rural regions without people, and he was amazed with wilderness, let's say. and she was waiting for him and trying to live her life dutifully and to live a good life, meaningful one. It's a quiet book about quiet life, but still a meaningful one and an important one. Because I like when historical fiction not shows the people who were ahead or against their time, though she was, and who ruined, their life around them in order to become greater or to change the world. I do not really appreciate these people. I appreciate more the quiet but strong people who help community around them and who help change the lives for their loved ones for the better. And this is what this book is about, I think. It has 3 parts. In first part we have like a brief encounter of the whole Olga's life, of her love story, of her biography, let's say. In the second book we have the impressions about her of the young boy who met her when she was older. She told him a lot of stories about her life, and he was trying to understand how was her life ended, because it was a big mystery in the ending of her life. And he tried and found the letters that she wrote to her lover, who ended up, he died, or they couldn't find him. He died near the North Pole in the ice. So she wrote letters to him, and in second part this man found these letters, and the third part is like epistolary part of the novel, so only her letters to her lover. So what do we see here? In the first part there is like quick biography with some deepness in it and with amazing details about her life, but still quick biography. In the second part it is how, like, the role that she played in the life, at least of this boy, of this man who is telling this story, and how she was the most close person to him in this whole life. And the third part is like deep dive into her soul and her thoughts and her dreams. I loved it. I will buy it for sure. And yeah, I liked it very much. What a joyful coincidence that I picked this book because of its name, and now this is one of the best books I've read this year. I don't think this is a book for everyone. It is quiet, it is rather slow, it is more deep than fast, but it is definitely a book for me, and I loved it. So yeah, highly recommend Olga by Bernhard Schlink. I just want to make a quick pause and talk a little bit about what matters the most for me right now, and this is about the war in Ukraine. As many of you may know, I am from Ukraine and my parents still live there, and we all living in this constant understanding that everything can happen to them every minute. The war is very brutal, and there are terrible war crimes happening in my land right now. And I want to talk a little bit about how you can help after these 3 months. Just think about this, 3 months of war in the middle of the Europe, how you can still do something for Ukraine. First, please, if you can donate, I will put some links down below. I will put more links like about humanitarian needs, because I do think this is what the most people are more eager to do. The amount does not matter. Even $5, you can skip one Starbucks and just put this coffee money for Ukraine. It all matters. If you can, please help refugees that are in your country. There are a lot of cultural events or money gathering events happening because of Ukraine. Also, you can donate some clothes to like Ukrainian refugees center. Just don't stop talking and thinking about Ukraine. First of all, we are all really grateful if you remember about us during your prayers, because it's matter a lot. And also just talk to people about how wrong it is. This topic is not the topic that it's okay to forget, because it's still happening, and it's bad thing that world is being used to the war. It's bad for Ukraine, but it's also very bad for the world. It's not okay that this, unprecedented war is happening right now, and we definitely do not want this again in any other country. So don't stop talking about how wrong the situation is. Also, if you can buy something from Ukrainian authors, read a book from Ukrainian author, or maybe publish some Ukrainian news or art in your Instagram stories, or there are a lot of things like that we can do. Even plant sunflowers in your backyard. That will be something that will remind you, first of all, and your neighbors, that it's not okay, that Ukraine is important. There are a lot of things that we can still do in our everyday life, maybe not to support, but to remember, because never again is happening now, and a lot of people are dying every day, a lot of kids are dying every day, and it's not okay. It's still not okay. And please, I know there is a lot of happening in other parts of the world and in your country, but still don't think about this as a usual thing. It's unusual. It's not okay. And thank you for all support that you do, or want to do, or can do. We Ukrainians are very, very grateful for all people around the globe that are supporting us. This is very important for each every of us. And thank you very much. All the links that can be useful in supporting Ukraine, I put up down below. These are only those links that I personally use, so that I know will go to the right cause. But there are many others. There are many local people who gather money and buy something and send to Ukraine. So maybe use your Google skills to know more about what's happening in your particular county, because can be a lot of things that are happening. Then I gave another 5-star to the Forsyth saga. Well, not the whole book. I've read the first part. It's like almost 200 pages. It's The Man of Property. This is by John Galsworthy. This is third read of this novel, I think. This is one of my favorite books. I liked it very much. This is modern classic, I want to say. This book started in 1886, so the end of Victorian era. At the engagement party, well, the whole Forsyth family gathered, and Forsyths are very big family. They are very influential. They are very rich, and they definitely have an understanding what is right and what is wrong. And they do not approve about this engagement, because the young man, he's an architect, he doesn't have an income, and most of Forsyths do not think that there will be a wedding, because he just purely poor, and Forsyths do not marry poor. But the couple on which engagement party we are is not the main couple in this story. The main couple is Soms and his wife, and I listened to this audiobook. She was called Irene, which also amazed me, because in Russian it's Irene, and it is written almost like my name, and I always thought that she is Irene, actually Irene, but who cares? Who is very beautiful woman, and some love her, but she is definitely not one of the Forsyths. She is of different kind of people. This is great novel about love, about possession, about how life is changing and we do not want it, and we try to hold onto it as long as we can, about mistakes that we do and how we think about these mistakes up to the end of our lives, about how even the strongest and the most steel-hearted ones actually are very tender underneath and very gentle and can be very good, and vice versa. I loved this book, and also there are the most beautiful the language of this book is impeccable. It is beautiful, and also it is very up to the point. Every word really matters, and you will never forget these characters as they are depicted this way, and there are many characters in there, so it can be hard. It's a great book. I highly recommend it to everyone who likes classic. It's not all these characters are not black and white. They all are gray. They all have their faults and their struggles, and they all do terrible mistakes. But I really like a lot of them, though I maybe despise what they do. Like this, I haven't seen it on BookTube at all, though I know it's like famous classic. I have no idea why you people do not read this. This is a great book. I highly recommend, and I want to end this book at the end, by the end of the summer, but we'll see. I have a big plans for summer, so I don't know. So yeah, first, like The Man of the Property by John Galsworthy, 5 stars. And I've read a thriller, who knows? In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. And this is like a dark academia. It takes place on the college reunion, and the murder took place during college years, so there is a lot of college life in here. What can I say? After reading this book, I was like talking to my husband, and I was like, I don't want our girls to attend college at all. It's too dangerous. They can't do it. I don't know. I like this thriller. I gave it 4 stars. Maybe it's more 3.5, because thriller is not my favorite genre. So what can I say about thrillers nowadays? This is bad people do bad things to each other. We have our main protagonist Jessica, who is unreliable narrator, and there will be a college reunion on which she wants to travel to her college. It's like 10 years after college. She is meeting this guy, I think called Jack, who was accused of the murder of their friends, Heather, during college. Then police released him, and he was clean from the murder, but still everyone suspects that he did it. So there was, I don't remember the name of it, but they have a group of 7, I think, people who were like best friends. They dated each other, and everyone were together. They were the most bright, the most beautiful, the best people on the campus. And on their senior year, one of them was found dead in their dorm room, and the other one of them was accused of murder. And so they're gathering on this reunion, and all secrets will reveal, and there are a lot of mysteries. Everyone holds something. Everyone did something really bad in their past. They are all very bad people, and they all did terrible things in college, and it's all will be revealed during this book. This is very fast-paced. This has dual timeline. It's enjoyable, but when we think about guilty pleasure, I really think I feel guilty for enjoying this book, because they all are so bad. Who I am enjoying? Still, this is good. For thriller, this is definitely one of the best I've read. though I do think that thrillers do not bring me joy and joy of the ending of the book, because clearly I want all of them dead, like all of them, or at least at prison, and they, you know, are not. Not all of them, at least. So yeah, this was 4 stars. And the last book I've read this May, I gave 4 stars. This is the middle grade mystery novel, Premeditated, Myrtle. This is the first of Myrtle Hardcastle mystery series, and it is written by Elizabeth C. Bunce. I think Bunce, maybe Bunce. Sorry. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. This is the classic mystery. So there is a girl called Myrtle. She lives in Victorian era. She has a governess and a father, and her mother, who was a chemist, is dead. Her father is a lawyer. Her governess is a woman of color. Don't remember from where. So she and her governess are these partners in crime, partners in sleuth, I think. Myrtle saw something weird happening in her neighbor's house, and she went to the police, and yeah, her neighbor was dead. And not only she was dead, but something wrong happened in her garden, and her lilies, who she was, you know, growing and making new types of lilies, they gone. All of them are gone. And her gardener is very suspicious, but also he's a good person, and he is Myrtle's friend, but he's doing something very suspicious. So Myrtle and her governess, they begin to investigate, and they are very good in it. Myrtle is sharp. She's very good as a teenager, you know. She thinks of herself much more than others, and she is very confident, and she asks all these questions that are important, but they seems very childish, and that's why she have answers on them. And her governess is more calm and more deep in her thoughts, and he calmed down Myrtle and maybe force her change direction sometimes. I like their duo a lot. My daughter thought that this book was boring. I really, like, she read maybe 10 pages and DNF'd it. I really want her to proceed. I will push her for this for a little bit more, because I do think it was like a classic mystery novel, not a thriller, not, you know, a silly something. It was a classic mystery novel, but with a child detective, something like Edith Nesbit could write. So I do think it was very good, not very thick, you know, and the font is big, so it's a perfect middle grade book. There are corpses and murder and all these things, so I have no idea for what age it is. I would say maybe 10, like the 10 is the beginning, I think, mostly because it's more about death and all this stuff. But like, for example, Mean Girls played a trick on her and locked her in the morgue, and she is not very scared about this. She is more like amazed, and she is trying to investigate in this morgue. But still, I don't know, maybe if you have very gentle heart, middle grade, maybe wait a few years. But yeah, I think it was very, 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 very good. And this is part of the series, and now there is 3 books in the series, and the 4th will become in October, and I want to read all 3 of them before October, because I really liked it. So yeah, it will be one of my cozy mysteries series that I will read. But yeah, again, my daughter, who is middle grade, he thought it was very boring. So have no idea how it will be for other middle grades. So that was my May. It was very enjoyable, and I don't know, I think it was a good variety of classics and historical fiction and mysteries, and I liked it. Also, I really liked reading more middle grade because I can discuss all this with my daughter, and I do think this is important to discuss books that your kids love. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and do all this stuff, and I hope I see you in another video. Bye.